Normally, Spider-Man got bitten by a radioactive spider when he was a teenager. Uncle Ben passed away, and he became the best, most lovable and purest hero, the amazing Spider-Man. But this time, Spider-Man's origin has been completely changed in this story. Peter Parker is now around 30 years old with a beard and mustache, and he has a wife and kids. Also, Uncle Ben is still alive. Peter Parker hasn't become Spider-Man yet. The villains like Kingpin, Goblin, and Shocker are shown in new forms, and you'll also see bigger multiversal threats with Tony Stark involved, which I think many will find exciting. Now that the introduction is done, let's jump into it. In New York City during January, we see Peter Parker wearing glasses and sporting a beard. He remarks, "I'm getting old," as he gets dressed and puts on his wedding ring before heading out. His son Richard and little May Parker are having breakfast. Richard mentions that his mom made extra coffee, noticing Peter woke up late. Peter Parker's wife, MJ, appears as she calling him Tiger. While eating, May rummages through a bag and finds a small silver ball. Peter tells her it's not a toy, takes it away, and leaves for work. Some things haven't changed. The name of his workplace is still the Daily Bugle. As soon as we see J. Jonah Jameson, he's shouting, "Parker! Parker!" He walks toward Peter, passes him by, and keeps yelling, "Parker!" At this moment, we realize Jonah is calling out to the managing editor of the Daily Bugle, Ben Parker. That's right, Peter isn't Spider-Man, and Ben Parker is alive. Additionally, we see that Ben Parker and J. Jonah Jameson are best friends. Jonah mentions that there are some financial management issues at work and that a meeting is scheduled. Ben says they'll sort it out later and prepares to leave with Peter. As they're about to leave, Jonah notices Peter doesn't have a necktie, so he takes off his own and ties it for him. This scene is one of the most heartwarming moments crafted in comic book history. But where are they heading, all dressed up? In the city, groups of people are walking together. Peter is worried about whether Uncle Ben will be okay. Why? Because there's a gathering happening in the center of the city. At the forefront, a blind man is giving a speech. He is Father Murdoch, a priest. In the Netflix shows, Matt Murdock is also shown visiting churches and having relationships with priests. Right now, Father Murdoch is talking about loss. Not long ago, there was a terrorist attack in the city. Many people lost their lives. Among the victims were May Parker, Emily, and Norman Osborn. Harry is the only surviving member of the Osborn family, and went up to the stage and expressed his grief. However, his speech also revealed not just sorrow but feelings of anger and a desire for revenge. Peter and his family also came to pay their respects for Aunt May's passing. Afterward, even though Peter and Harry are not very close, Uncle Ben mentions that he once interviewed Norman Osborn and expresses his condolences to Harry before saying goodbye. Then, the two of them leave for the Daily Bugle. At the Bugle, things are chaotic. Everyone is waiting for Ben, while J. Jonah Jameson is throwing a tantrum in the meeting room. We see Jonah storm out of the meeting room, shouting that he's quitting. Ben leaves Peter at his desk and heads into the meeting room. Inside the meeting room, a soon-to-retire senior and a few scared ones are sitting. At the head of the table sits Kingpin, who can control the room with authority. The Bugle is facing financial troubles. Kingpin steps in to offer his help. However, this means all the Bugle's news operations and productions will come under Kingpin's control, and he'll handle everything. Jonah couldn't accept this, which is why he quit. True to his name, Kingpin already has control over everyone in the meeting room and starts sweet-talking Ben as soon as he sees him. With Jonah gone, Kingpin tries to tempt Ben by offering a promotion and a raise. But someone as honest as Ben Parker cannot be swayed. Uncle Ben simply smiles and walks out of the meeting room. His best friend, Jonah, knowing this would happen, is already waiting by the elevator. When Ben gets to the elevator, the two old friends who just quit joke, "So, what are we going to do for a living now?" as they leave together. At night, Kingpin returns with his assistant, and as he gets out of his car, the car suddenly explodes. When they look up, they see a goblin in a modern yet classic-style glider. Obviously, this could only be Harry Osborn. A bar with no name is a bar in New York where villains often hang out. In this bar, the two old friends are having a conversation. At their age, they feel like there's nothing left they can do. They were very skilled in the newspaper business but don't have expertise in any other jobs. Jonah starts by saying, "We'll need a name." Ben adds, "We'll also need fire insurance, because Kingpin's men will surely come and set the place on fire." The two old men are discussing to start their own newspaper. Ben says, "This time, we'll do better, and we'll show the truth." Jonah laughs and sarcastically says, "Truth? Truth? This recreates the iconic scene from the old Spider-Man movies where J. Jonah Jameson laughs at Peter. I know you remember that. But Jonah continues, but we can do this without lying. While they're talking, Peter arrives. They explain their plans to Peter and even ask him to come work at their newspaper. But Peter is confused. When Peter asks if there's any money, Jonah replies, "That's tomorrow's problem," and walks out. Peter is quite stunned. Peter looks directly at him and asks, "How can you just throw away your entire life in a single day and start something new?" Ben calmly replies, "Well, my wife passed away. You're already standing on your own feet with your wife and kids. Simple. If I've done it before, why wouldn't I be able to do it again?" Peter then opens up, admitting that something feels wrong about his own life. He says, "I don't know what it is, but my life doesn't feel right." Ben replies, "I may not know exactly what's wrong, but you should wake up and start doing what you really want to do," and then he walks away. When Peter gets home, he shares this conversation with MJ. MJ, as usual, encourages him saying, "Go get them, Tiger," if there's something he wants to do. This reminds us of something similar we've seen in the Loki series. Loki first sought advice from Mobius. Then he sought advice from Sylvie, his love. And finally, he fulfilled his glorious purpose. Similarly, after thinking for a while, Peter grabs the silver ball his daughter was playing with earlier and climbs up to the rooftop. What is this ball? What does it have to do with Peter, and what's wrong? Why is Peter having these thoughts? The story then flashes back to the previous night. Peter is working as usual on his laptop. A box lights up, saying it's for Peter Parker, so Peter opens it to check. A hologram of Iron Man appears. Tony is younger here and doesn't appear to be the same age as Peter. We see that the attack that killed Aunt May is also connected to Tony Stark. But Tony continues to deliver his message. He explains that he is sending this message to the future 6 months after this attack. Due to the explosion, Tony had to escape to another location. Now he's completely stuck and unable to leave that place. Tony continues, 20 years ago, you were supposed to be bitten by a radioactive spider. This would have given you amazing powers. And with them, you would have become one of Earth's most prominent superheroes. Instead, a great evil traveled through time and erased almost all the heroes of this world from existence. You were one of them. They did this because they see the world as an experiment and want to create a society they can control directly. We must stop them. Tony then explains, I'm gathering other heroes like you, Peter Parker. I'm also trying to free myself, and together we'll save the world. Tony asks Peter to join him and leaves him with a device. Inside the device is a suit to cover Peter's identity and protect him from being recognized. These people stole your future. These people robbed you of your destiny. The question is, do you want it back? A small black capsule emerges from the device. Then a glass tube appears. Peter muttered, I want it, and staring at the spider inside the glass tube. This is the spider that will give Peter his powers. Peter recalls the words of Ben and MJ from earlier. He smiles, places the spider on his hand, and lets it bite him. Boom! Among the birds on the rooftop, a Spider-Man appeared in a suit like Night Monkey. Here you go, guys. This was the Ultimate Spider-Man comic released in 2024. Currently, 11 issues have been released. If you're interested and want more, please let us know in the comments. Though it's late, I will upload Absolute Superman Part 2 next time. And I want to give a special thanks to everyone who watched the video until the end. See you in the next video. Have a peaceful day.